Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond Satanic #9, the retake, featuring your host Wolfking. There were some technical difficulties earlier, but we're back, and we will resume the show in its proper glory. All right. So we got on tap first. Okay. How about woman kills daughter with a crucifix to rid Satan from her? That's an interesting story.
Time magazine
Let's listen.
has an insane story out this week about a vicious crime. They say an Oklahoma woman, Juanita Gomez, 49 years old, was charged with first-degree murder on Monday. She claimed her 33-year-old daughter, Geneva Gomez, was possessed by the devil and allegedly punched her repeatedly to rid Satan from her body. Quote, Juanita stated she punched her daughter repeatedly and forced a crucifix and religious medallion down her throat until blood came out of her daughter's mouth, court documents stated, according to the Oklahoman. Juanita saw her daughter die and then placed the body in the shape of a cross. Authorities found Geneva Gomez lying on the floor with her arms extended and her legs straight. A large crucifix was also resting on her chest. Good googly movie. Think about that. I mean, this is like straight out of a horror movie. So you have this woman who's like, I'm so convinced that my daughter's demon possessed her. She is the devil. The devil is now in her body. I will punch her repeatedly till she's unconscious, take a crucifix, shove it down her throat until she bleeds out, put her body in the shape of a cross, and put a cross over her chest. Oh, goodness, what are we going to do, man? All right, now look, every time we speak about these different things.
Yeah, that's it. That is an interesting story. And it's very fucked up how religious fundamentalism could drive someone to do that in so desperate need to validate their beliefs that they'll inflict violence on other people. You know, why can't we have this more of a live and let live type of mindset rather than this, I'm right and I'll kill you to make it true? I mean, that's a sad thing. But then again, I think that's an important thing of why apatheism, why it is a civilizational advance, because it's basically the maturing of the collective consciousness, and that faith is something that while you hold personally, it is personal to you only. Absent of trying to enforce that upon another person, that's just intolerant. That's just bigoted. And right down to it, it is irrational. You know, that's why this woman is condemned for what she did. It's not because she let's say utilized Jesus' love or tried to emulate Jesus' love, but more or less she took her personal faith and literally shoved it down her daughter's throat. And that's a fucked up story, but that's just how it is. We need to push this apatheism, man. Like, try to master this this nonsense while we can. Anyway, we're moving on to the next story. What else we got? Here's a crazy nut job we could all laugh at. Tommy Sotomayor. Hey, Dawkins, how you doing, man?
So would you like to continue our conversation on evolution from the other day when it was interrupted?
I know the stories right now, but I guess until I get one, we can talk about it. So I think one of the questions I was asking you is, how do you infer design, like an intelligent designer?
I don't infer. My starting point is that the Christian God exists. That's my starting point. If that starting point is design, then you're an abyss of darkness. Just like if you deny the uniformity of nature.
So you're not you're not a believer in intelligent design?
Did the Christian God who created the world design it? Yeah, he's intelligent.
Okay, so you're fine with that idea so long as like it's the Christian God that's the designer, right?
Well, that's my starting point. And by the way, if you permit any of the other stalkers in here, I'll leave immediately. You know who I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not sure how they would know that you're in here, but you know, whether or not they appear is
well, you know, if they want to engage in juvenile behavior, then they're not going to get any respect, nor will I dialogue with them. They've done so ever since Pal Talk. But since you're buddy with them, I'm just letting you know right now. I don't play to their tune. I play by my tune.
I wouldn't say necessarily I'm buddy with them. I mean, like, you know,
you sure are.
Well, I'm aware of them, but you know, but like I said, I mean, listen, I'm not judging you. I mean, if you don't want to talk to them, you don't want to talk to them. You know, I mean, I told you this before on this same hangout. Well, not exactly the same hangout, but on my channel that, you know, if you want to, you know, block them or whatever, you can. I mean, that's your choice.
I do block them, but they circumvent it.
Okay. Well,
so you said earlier that evolution wasn't about chance, right? That was you came in and were commenting on something that I had either said or previously stated, and you said, although there are random mutations, natural selection is not chance.
Well, natural selection, that's the mechanism that makes the process deterministic.
Well, how do you know that there's any non-chance features to the world around you?
This is with regard to biological processes.
Yeah, I'm asking you. How do you differentiate the events that you see, both the consistent and non-consistent events? How are you able to determine that they are the result of, let's say, underlying uniformities or regularities as opposed to chance? How do you distinguish between the two?
Well, you distinguish the two by recognizing, okay,
you better think carefully. Well, think carefully about the question, because I don't ask that question idly.
How do you distinguish chance from?
Yeah, when you make observations of events, and those events are a combination of certain consistencies and some inconsistencies. How do you distinguish those events that are the product from a supposed underlying regularity, uniformity, as opposed to all of these events are the product of chance? How do you distinguish between one or the other?
I guess it depends on, I suppose it depends on the likelihood and factors by which they work.
Likelihood presupposes.
Let me give an example. Like, for example, let's say we're talking about, let's say we're talking about tree rings, right? Tree rings and the ages that determine like how old a tree is, for example. That's determined by laws of physics and laws of chemistry. Like, how long
are the laws of physics? Are the laws of physics descriptive or prescriptive?
It's descriptive.
Okay, good. Then you cannot say that they are determined.
How so exactly? Like, are you saying that trees aren't determined to grow?
Obviously. Okay, I'll have to try to make this more clear. If I roll a pair of dice 10 times and I get 7s every time, and let's say I do it in a casino, how are we able to determine whether those 7s 10 times in a row are the product of chance versus they are the product of some type of regularity? How would you do so? And the dice represents the physical world around you. How do you determine that the outcome is the product of chance versus the product of an underlying regularity, such as the dice are weighted?
Well, the chance is the likelihood, right? And you're measuring the likelihood from those regularities. That's a statement.
How do you determine that the 7 10s are the product of chance versus they're the product of an underlying regularity or uniformity, such as the dice are weighted, how would you be able to determine between the two?
Well, okay. Whether or not you get the exact number that you want, that is the chance.
What if I got 1,000 sevens in a row? How are you able to determine whether it's chance or that there's some uniformity causing that?
Depends
Doesn't
on how
matter.
Hmm?
It doesn't matter whether you roll the dice twice or whether you do it 1,000,000 times. How do you determine that it's chance versus that it's a uniformity?
Okay. You might see a way of determining a random result, like between those numbers, like 1, 6, 7, whatever. The die is still bound by the laws of physics, and when it is thrown at a certain height and angle,
Okay, you're not getting my point. You're totally missing my point.
Hold on.
You are assuming the whole question here is this: is that you said that the theory of evolution is not merely chance, that there is natural selection in play. And you're invoking natural selection is a contradiction that it's all chance. Okay? Now, natural selection would involve some type of regularity or uniformity of nature. Now, you are presupposing that there are uniformities of nature either as opposed to or in addition to chance. Now, I'm asking you, when you make observations of all events in your existence, how are you able to determine what is the process? Okay, all right, I'm gone. The stalkers are back again.
Fuck off.
Hey, clown.
Fuck off. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking coward.
Okay,
Get the fuck out of here.
What
You're
you
a little
are is
bitch. Get
you
the
are
fuck
you
out.
are a child. You are a child in an adult body. You know,
Okay,
you're
so
chronologically,
discussion.
Josh, you're chronologically an adult, but you have the mind of a child, and that's demonstrated by your behavior.
So,
If you actually were,
Children run away from objections
if you
they can't
were
handle.
adult, would you explain to me why you were link
So if I
bombing
hide-
my
okay,
room?
hold on,
Okay,
Dawkins.
real simple, real simple. Hold on, Wolf. Josh, would you please explain to me and to the audience why you were link bombing my room when you're not welcome in my room? Why were you doing that?
Yeah, because I wanted to show people what a coward you are. It's pretty obvious.
Okay, good. So in other words, you are coming into somebody else's room that you're not welcome to, right?
Yeah.
Do you do that in your personal life?
You put the link out publicly, you dumbass. You put the link out publicly, you fucking dumbass.
Okay, good. Do you do that in your personal life?
If someone's had a sign that said, "Oh," if someone had a sign that said "open house," I might go in if I wanted to.
Okay. People like yourself, you've been informed before.
Get the fuck out of here, you fucking bitch.
You have been ejected from my room every time you eject in the room. You know that even though there's an open link, that you are not a welcome person.
I know why you. I know why you eject me, right?
Why?
I know why you eject me. I know exactly why you eject me. You eject me because you're a coward. You're a coward.
If you're going to mute me, I will mute you as well. Now,
I don't care.
Okay. Do you enter domains in your life outside the internet where you know you are not welcome?
Depends.
Okay, so you would enter somebody's home when you're told to stay off the premises?
It depends.
Okay. Well, you see, here's the bottom line. You are chronologically adult, but you are acting and behaving like a little snot teenager.
Look, it doesn't matter.
It does matter to a lot of civilized people.
Look, it doesn't fucking matter,
okay.
right?
Hey, Josh,
because it doesn't matter. You are in no position. You are in no position to moralize. Because if you think you can moralize, yeah, that's right. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking bitch.
All right. Well, that was that. Lorray Atlas, what's up?
What was that? You want
Yeah,
to?
I was kind of waiting on you guys to get rid of him. He was kind of annoying.
Happy to do you a service, Wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf, will you please unblock my primary account?
I don't know. Put it in the side chat.
Okay.
That guy did seem kind of weird.
Yeah, he likes to ask multiple questions. It's kind of annoying. And even then, he asks loaded questions that he doesn't really want real answers to. Anyway, what was doing shit?
What made you open up a hangout?
Yeah, just for the fuck of it. Like doing random videos and shit. Mm. Let's see. Colin Kaepernick. Neat. Ah, fuck ads. I hate ads.
Want to see inside my new tried gun?
Yeah, I don't want that. Colin Kaepernick, you are not what?
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Tommy Sotomayor. I want to talk to you guys about Mr. Half-Breed Pro-Black. That's right. We got several of them. Every time you turn around, it seems like it's some person who's not quite black, but blacker than people like me, you know, crispy. Anyway, the latest victim in this whole series is a guy by the name of Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, by the way, is a San Francisco 49ers quarterback. 49ers. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, that's more like it. 49ers, my favorite team. Always been the hometown team. Steve Young, Joe Montana, Bill Walsh. You know, great names like that. Can't forget my man Jerry Rice. Well, anyway, there was a time in which we looked at Colin Kaepernick as he was going to be the next best great quarterback. He even took us to an NFC championship game and a Super Bowl. In the process, Kaepernick has fallen on hard times. So much so that Blaine Gabbert looks like he's the favorite to win the #1 job this year. Now, mind you, Colin Kaepernick's been with our team since. And from 2012 to 2015, he had some good times and some bad times. Right now, he's at a really bad crossroads. Colin Kaepernick did something, and the whole country is talking about it right now. What he did last week was the national anthem being played. And what did Colin Kaepernick decide to do? Yep, he sat down. He would not stand up, and when asked, Colin, why didn't you stand up? Colin said in his pro-blackest voice as he could, he said, I won't stand up for a country that is oppressing my people. Let my people go. He gave the Moses speech again. In the process of giving the Moses speech, he said, because of all these murders and the oppression of my people, black people, I will not stand up for this flag. Oh, that sounds great, Colin Kaepernick. I understand. Here's a small problem, guys. Remember when I told you that he came in the league in 2012, and when he came in the league, he had a white coach, white players, and white audiences loved him all over. He even supplanted a white quarterback. That's right, one that none of us like. But now that white quarterback is with.
So because he's light-skinned, he can't have a message? I mean, because that sounds like what he's saying.
No, what that guy is saying about Kaepernick is that it's funny because I gotta put this because he sit there and he has he didn't have a problem with, and this is what happens with a lot of people, especially a lot of black people, males in general, that we get caught up in the fact that there's so many crimes against us, and things that wind up put over us that, like, I gotta put it, that you get some people that go to the point that try to think that they're being segregated, or they try to segregate themselves in a way from the country, that they wind up doing things that are considered literally disrespectful nowadays, and it's frowned upon. But at other times, people go off and stare and be like, "Well, it's okay," and it's not. Like, why would you sit down during the national anthem?
I mean, okay, here's how I look at it, right? I mean, I guess I can understand where I guess I can understand where he come from, being that he is a famous athlete and stuff like that. But I don't think, excuse me, it, I don't see a problem with sitting down like during the national anthem. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not hurting anybody. It's not doing that. I mean, and that, and he had a political statement to make. I
Well,
mean, I
see,
doubt it's SJ.
but see, that's the
doubt
thing. It's a political statement that he made. In a way, it's a political statement that he made that really should not have been made in that way, because there is something wrong with not standing up with the national anthem. I mean, I grew up in a way that, like, during watching sport games and everything else, and going through school, and it's taught to everybody. Um, the Pledge of Allegiance, when national anthem is said, you don't have to go off and salute, but you can at least stand. I mean, it's like when you go to church, or for those who do go to church, if you go up and sit there and when everyone's before the first prayer or whatever else, everyone kind of stands and they ask everybody, please stand
Yeah.
up.
Well, you know,
And
I get that. I get that tradition and stuff like that. But you know, Muhammad Ali, you know, as awesome as he was, he denied the draft. He was all like, "I'm not going to go to war," you know.
yeah, but see, that's the draft. The draft was something. Was something in a point of trying to. They, at that point in time, that wasn't a tradition. The draft was something that no one ever expected to happen, but it was something that happened because, well, at the time, no one really wanted to join because of America was going through their own issues at home. And when the Vietnam conflict came out, it was like, well, why do we have to join up when we don't want to? And why do we have to go serve in a whole different country? No one wanted to do that.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Let's
understandable. Those are things that, like, speak out for an actual huge event. But for someone to go off and stare and take an actual tradition, things that have been done over and done over. I mean, I have seen veterans like that literally are without limbs cry because they can't stand during the national anthem.
Sure,
I
sure.
mean, there's elderly
Let's go back
people that
to
would go off and stare and, like, force themselves to at least lean and stand up to go off and, like, at least for a little bit.
Yeah,
Instead of
I
having
get your point. I get
told
your
sit
point. Let's
down.
go back
But
to the
you
video.
have this person that just because he's another black person, he decides to go off and sit there
Okay,
and.
do it, do it. I get your point. We gotta go back to the video, okay?
Okay, sorry about that.
That white quarterback, and the white coach gave him a chance. Mr. Pro Black himself, who looks like he should probably be a guy who played on La Bamba. But that's not the point. The point is, Mr. Colin Kaepernick, the man who supplanted a white man and a white coach gave him that job, and white fans loved him even though he didn't look like the prototypical quarterback because he had tattoos all over himself. I even remember them doing Fox pregame shows where he was talking about how he's different and his family taught him to be different. His family was a bunch of Kaepernick. That's right, white people. Yeah, see, white people had to adopt this man and raise him and give him an opportunity that quote-unquote black people never did. Now, in the process of him being Mr. Pro-Black, Before he had money, he had a black girlfriend. Black women got mad because as soon as he got his big check, he dumped his black girlfriend for a white chick. Yeah, I can't say he was a dummy for doing that one. But that's not the point. The point is,
funny.
Mr. Pro-Black was enjoying all of this whiteness before his career plummeted. Now, for those again who know, Colin Kaepernick is not a lock to be number 1 or even number 2 in San Francisco. So what's the best thing to do? That's right. Do what most half-breeds do. Pretend that you're really pro-black when it fits you. Because let me tell you something, Colin Kaepernick. In 2012, black...
Like a lot of this guy's stuff is, I mean, like, DeCasa, what do you think?
Did he actually just say half-breed?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, he's an idiot, but just, I mean, he'll do this shit. Like, first off, he'll talk about how much black men can't work together and fuck black women and shit like that. But any white people like criticize him and stuff, he's all like, "Oh, these white liberals, these SJWs and racists" at the same time somehow. But Kaza, what do you think?
I don't know. I've never watched this full thing before. I'm not even. I don't even know this guy, so I really don't want to base an opinion on something.
He was talking about Colin Kaepernick, the whole him not standing up thing, and like he's saying he's criticizing Kaepernick's message and stuff like that, and saying that because he was raised around white people and stuff like that, he's not really black or some shit.
Well, I look, even right now, there was Steven Crowder did an interview on who I'm assuming is Colin Kaepernick, because I mean, even when I watch this video, I still can't tell if this guy is a lookalike and this is some parody skit or if this guy's for real, because the stuff that this alleged Colin Kaepernick is talking about, the way he brings about his demonstrations or what he's planning on using as demonstrations, is just really fucked up, man.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of it's really fucked up because it's, I mean, I think for this guy to go off and actually try to push on the point that he's a half-breed is really fucked up, because I mean, think about it. There's so many people out now that are like mixed with so many different races that you can't go off and sit there and just like make fun of somebody because they're half-breed.
Yeah. You ever seen Boondocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's the Uncle Ruckus type. Yeah, they exist, dude.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
Well, you haven't seen a lot of this stuff. A lot of this guy, trust me.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Yeah. He is fucked up.
Men were being murdered by the police. In 2013, black men had been murdered by the police. In 2014, there were black men who had been murdered by the police. In 2015, black men had been murdered by the police. As a matter of fact, there are photos and videos of you during the national anthem when you were at the Super Bowl. And guess what you were doing, Mr. Colin Kaepernick, doing during those times when they were singing the national anthem? And you were crying like a bitch. I love America. And that's what you was doing. And now all of a sudden, you trying to tell people, I won't stand up, like you Stevie Wonder. I ain't gonna stand for that flag. No, you gonna stand up for that flag, Colin, because that flag represents you. You was a half-breed. You have been able to walk through your life and nobody ever walk up to you and say, he's black. And all of a sudden now you're Mr. Black.
Okay, what this jackass don't know is that the one drop rule, like if you have any black blood in you, you're automatically black in America. That was a major thing. So him calling him a half-breed as if he had it easy, I mean, like, that's that's bullshit. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, you can criticize. I mean, here's the thing. Criticize what the guy done did, but you know, when you criticize him like who he is and where he comes from or something like that, like by saying shit like that, I mean, it just shows you an ignorant fuck. I mean, that's not how you get your point across. But then again, it's Tommy's sodomizer, so I really shouldn't be surprised. Because here's the thing, right? I mean, when you got equal opportunity, right? When you got the ability to work hard and do all that stuff, so you still have a better outcome. I mean that should be granted by everyone through their merits and talents and through them getting other stuff to like from society in order to benefit that. But but calling someone like that a half breed or something like that as if they got it easy, that's ridiculous. There's no such thing.
Well, see, there's people that go off and try to push an issue, and what you're saying is right, but it's like, see, for black people, it's weird because you got those that go off and sit there and like go through an idea that, well, we have to go with the whole, but the whole is not. That's not us. We can't even be individuals anymore because of the fact that not just other black people would go off and sit there and judge our decisions on certain things, but also white people, Hispanics, like all other races look at black people as in being black, no matter what. The one drop rule, like you said, if you had one drop of black and you're black,
Yeah.
that's not always true
I mean,
because
yeah,
you
yeah,
still
yeah.
have other backgrounds, but at the same time, it's like it's like being hit with leprosy only on your
I'm
toes. So are you a leopard or are you just have an infection on one toe?
Yeah, yeah, not to interrupt you. I just said that one drop rule thing as like a cultural reference because the way he made it sound like this, the Tommy dude made it sound on the video, he made it sound like Colin had everything handed to him, and that's not necessarily true. You do got to work hard and do stuff in order
It's
to
true, yes.
in order to be an athlete, professionally speaking, at least. You criticize what he did, but going at his race, I mean that's just bigoted, and you really just showing that you hate yourself because you black too, motherfucker.
Yeah, see, I understand that when you're trying to go after
And
somebody based on race, it messes up everything.
yeah, and more to the point, I think what he's doing, what Kaepernick is doing, is more or less a response to like the whole pro-American, like let's make it great again type of movement slash mindset. Because okay, Trump's like the biggest like carnival barker when it comes to this. Like he's the biggest spokesman for this shit. And in response to what Kaepernick did, he said that Trump said that he should leave America for it. That's as crazy as it is. And it's like you can't even criticize the country you're part of without that sounding anti-American or something like that. And that's just not the case at all.
But see, and that's what I understand. I'm not gonna down on the guy too much about not standing up. But yes, he was wrong. Yes, I understand it was a statement, but like I said before, certain statements need to be thought through before you go off and sit there and actually come up with them or do them or let it become an actual movement. I mean, think about it. Black Lives Matter. It's a statement that I can actually understand. I won't support entirely because it's something that here in the United States we have more than just black people and more than just black people being harmed every day. But yes, we black people do get the brunt of it because of the color of their skin. But at the same time, before we can narrow it down just to that, we need to go off and fix so much more things that
Okay,
are the
yeah,
reasons why we go
fair
off and
enough.
get attacked.
Fair enough. Guys, are you got something to say, man?
Yeah, this I just wanted to reiterate some paraphrase some stuff on this interview that Colin had with Steven Crowder, and it it's it almost sounded the way he's bringing himself to sound. It sounds almost like it really sounds like this trollish uh, method. Like for example, Steven Crowder is asking me, do you think this type of demonstration of sitting down during the national anthem is going to bring an actual positive effect? And his reaction is like, yeah, that's how you make friends. I'm Like, what? How do you make friends? And then he makes a kind of a segue to talking about, hey, like he makes an example, like, when the TSA wants to go on strike, and it slows down all the airports, nobody blames the TSA, right? They blame the government, and it brings. I'm like, how is he putting these things together? It's like he, and then he further talks about having some kind of demonstration in front of a I can't remember. I have to go back. He talks about a Holocaust memorial or something, and it's so fucked up the way he does it. It's like he. I swear, you watch this interview and you swear it's got to be some kind of fake, like, type of deal, like, for attention getting, that has no real. I can't even I don't really know how to even put it in words.
I guess we could take it all like a little bit of everything being said with a grain of salt. But that being said, we're moving on. All right, we got we got the Vigilant Christian Kanye West fade video exposed.
What would you do if I recommended that you be terminated?
All right, hey everyone, it's TVC Mario, and you're here for another edition of Satanic Illuminati Media Exposed. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and make an expose on this video that was put out by Kanye West called Faded. He premiered it at the 2016 MTV Video Music Satanic Awards. I'll go ahead and leave the playlist in the description if you haven't seen it already. And it was one of the most perverted videos I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not even going to show you any more than this visual because ultimately it's too graphic. And really, I don't want to be placing that kind of filth.
I mean, I don't know. Like he's talking about filth, but he was in that pissy ass YMCA pool with that pool noodle and that hairy guy like right next to him, and the other guy was crying and shit. It's almost like he was gonna have date night. What's up, Blue?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. All right. More of this craziness. Kazu, you got something to say on this?
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't share.
All right. You think he was secretly masturbating to this shit?
Ew, nasty. Nasty.
I'll just explain to you briefly.
Hey, you know, like he's fucking Christian, so you know, and he's talking about this perverted, so you know, reverse psychology.
What the video is? It's this woman half creature, and well, she's only that at the end. And this man conceptualizing a child here, and they basically have a sex act in a gym, and it's like softcore pornography. Stuff that really shouldn't be on television. And then even what they do is they mock the public by placing a whole bunch of sheep at the end. Now, the elite believe that the masses are just mindless sheep. They're so brainwashed, the average day person, that the elite can hide their plans in plain sight.
It's not that the P masses are gullible. You, Mario, are gullible. You take this stuff. You take the simple stuff and conflate it because it's popular into something satanic and therefore bad. It's not clever or hard to do. Gullible fucks do it all the time. Anyone else?
You got that right.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't seen the video, so I don't know what to say.
Yep.
And mock the everyday person. And here they are mocking them because they're literally hiding the truth in plain sight. Their agendas, their perversions, and they're celebrating the fact that wickedness is now being praised and glorified in today's world. One thing I talked about in several of my videos was the fact that the promotion of sexual immorality, of filth, garbage, was everything that the 2016 VMAs was all about. It was a satanic celebration by the satanic cult that runs the entertainment industry because they've reached a pinnacle of perversion in the world. This stuff 50 years ago would not even have been acceptable. There was a time where culture had morality. Elvis Presley, I mean, people would even get upset over him provocatively shaking his hips on television. But boy...
Yeah, that's what happens with the times. They change.
Yeah, what's
Okay.
PMA, by the way?
And there was a reason why they got upset about him shaking his hips. Because they didn't want him to look black. That's
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say,
but
but yeah,
Over the things that have improved in the last 50 years, if this jackass wants to.
He's like, it was a morality. No, there wasn't a morality. It was a bunch of racist bastards back then that just, no, shake your hips, don't do anything too much, just sit there and act like a good white guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the olden days. The olden days weren't good if you were like, you know, black or gay or Jewish or anything like that.
If you just wanted to have fun, for that matter. I mean,
Yeah,
just
or
come on.
if you wanted to get high or anything, or just like hang out.
Oh, Lord forbid if you were smoking a cigarette and you were walking down the street at the wrong time.
Yeah.
This guy lives in a time capsule.
Aside from all of that, too, just
This guy belongs in the Dark Ages. Fuck that.
the Puritanism of it. Just Puritanism.
Man, I don't think the Dark Ages was that bad, okay? When it came down to the segregation age and it's actually a whole age of people that literally were a bunch of racist bastards back then. When slavery was supposed to be abolished, but yet no, we still had hangings and malicious people that decided to blame black people for every damn thing that happened. And so many black people that were killed back then because of these people. I would say the Middle Ages had shit on that. Nothing. The worst most people would do is go off and kill in the name of God, the Crusades. And I mean, that was bad enough, but still. At least they had some kind of purpose.
Well, I would argue that the torture of Jews and the torture of children within church areas all throughout the so-called Middle Ages or the Dark Ages in Europe, it's equal. I mean, we're splitting hairs over which is worse. But, you know,
average lifespan
But
was
see,
30 years old.
it wasn't targeted towards just Jews, though. That's the whole thing. The Dark Ages were like, when it came down to the Crusades were trying to push a religious view on the world that was known back then, and
I know
it wasn't just segregated to one race. It was basically like, fuck everybody. If you're not going off and sit there and listening to that there is one God, then we're either going to kill off your land, kill off your people, and then, you know, keep you under our rule and under control until we can actually bring you from being a savage. And yeah, it's kind of it was really fucked up back then. Don't get me wrong, but compared to the times of segregation and everything else back then, for the United States, where if you're black, you had to drink and eat at only places that were allowed to be nominated for black people only. You weren't supposed to be, if black men, we weren't allowed to talk or even help out or even date any type of white woman. If we looked at a white woman wrong, well, our nuts probably get cut off by the end of the night, or we'll be lynched, mobbed, or chased out of town. Everything was basically just pushed on the black people. I mean, it still goes on today, but in a way that's like, it's more media. Media depicts black people in a bad light. So therefore, everyone thinks, even other black people think that we should we're only supposed to act or do certain things in a certain way. That's not how it is. And again, that's just my point of view, though.
No, that's certainly true. And the Jim Crow South lasted from, like you said, from the end of the war all the way until the mid 50s. And it went on. It still goes on in other ways. I would argue that African Americans are not depicted. They're depicted much better than they used to be. How about that? I can see that. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember the thing. Open pit. It does your cooking proud. And you got this guy and he's all smiling. I think that has changed, certainly, to some extent. The same way it has for the stereotypes that used to apply to homosexual people. That's been portrayed in a different light now. But yeah, it's not that long ago, and certainly you're right if you say progress is maddeningly slow. You're right there.
Larry, I can tell you this for sure, man. Dude, I'm a workaholic. I've worked all my adult life, and I've had many bosses. And one thing I can tell you for sure is, man, I don't care where you're from, what color your skin is. I don't give a damn about any of that stuff, man. When I got a strong boss that can really be a good leader and make it easy for me to make him or her money, and vice versa. Of course, when it goes that way, it goes the other way too. I don't care what race or ethnicity you are. You got my back. I mean, that's the way I am. I'm, you know,
But you know what? That's how it should be. Like, you shouldn't have to care about what race you are or what the color of your skin is. If you're a friend to me, I'm a friend to you. If you don't offend me, I won't offend you. It's kind of like that.
Yep. Yeah, I've really I've been a grunt in the pretty much the blue collar type, you know, um, society, I guess. Not the the grunt. That's pretty much been my life story. Um, I do what I can to make money for my boss, and I don't care who they are, man. If they back me, I will back them 100%.
All right, I'm back. What were you guys saying?
Do like work relations and what how and if I don't know. I was just talking really over the last really 15 years. I just the more I look back, and how different places I've worked, I'm really got to admit I've really noticed a stark increase in equal opportunity as far as employment. I really haven't seen any kind of uh, racial inequality in employment. I've worked in a lot of different places. I really don't see that much anymore, to be honest.
I mean, it really doesn't really go on, I would say. That I haven't seen too much of it either. Like when it comes down to like employment, actually, most people they get hired because they put in their application at a certain time or they're just better fit for the job. But it has I mean, there still are those times that some people will go off and sit there and because of the color of certain applicant skin, they will go off and sit there and like put them a little farther down the chain because I've seen it done. I've had it done to me.
And I gotta agree with it. There is one instance. There's only one marked instance that I know that this guy trust me, you would never work for this guy anyway. Actually he's in jail right now for kidnapping and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He's still in
Oh
jail to this
wow.
day. And I was an auto mechanic for 6 years, and I got offered a job at a shop that was independently owned. I won't say the name of the company that he franchised from, for because it's not their fault. He managed to buy out the franchise for this one store, for this one shop, and I could tell within a couple of days, yeah, this guy's crazy. He wouldn't hire any black people. He wouldn't hire any Hispanics, no matter what their credentials, and he would constantly sexually harass his secretary. And I noticed in a couple of days, I was like, man, what the hell did I get into? And
See,
I ended
there's
up,
always that one douche, right?
yep. And yeah, I worked with him for about 6 months before I actually, luck of the chance it happens, I actually got injured on the job. Passed my left middle finger through a running belt and pulley on an AC compressor. I didn't get any permanent damage. I kept all my parts, but
Oh man.
it turns out, before I even had a chance to get back off work in this cop, the place had already been shut down and everything. The guy who had lost the business because he was arrested for doing all kinds of crazy shit.
But see, it's funny. I when you look at it, most of the people that get in certain positions, they get privileged enough to go off and get into those positions, but a lot of them don't even really have. And I say privileged because they don't have a lot of like world background. I would say they never really worked any other job. They either got their job or whatever else because of they knew somebody or their family knew somebody or connected somewhere. And this is where their lack of education comes from because they don't have, and I won't say they never had home training for like dealing with other people or like showing respect how it should be shown, but it's to the point that when it comes down to certain things, they never got a chance to really put in practice of certain things, and they literally their mindset is spoiled to the point that it's like oh well, I run this, I don't really have to answer anybody, I really don't give a care about whatever else, I make enough money to do whatever I want, or I don't really need to worry about anybody else's bull crap. And once they actually get into a situation that puts them in a situation that like they have to actually use their moral compass, it's nowhere to be found.
All right, we're moving on to the next story. Watch the video that has been distributed to almost 1 million people. Argumentum ad populum. That's nice. Yeah, it's popular, therefore it's good.
Welcome back to Wretched, where we are celebrating 900,000 copies of The Biggest Question distributed not only on American university campuses, but around the globe. Let me take you to Taiwan just for a moment, where The Biggest Question has been distributed to thousands of people. Look at these beautiful faces hearing the gospel for the very first time. Those people faithfully pass out this DVD and witness to people one-on-one, and that has happened not.
Okay. For some reason, I feel like Ray Comfort's connected with this.
I was thinking Ken Hovind, but yeah.
Nah. Ken Hovind, he's busy backing his son's cancer pills. Yeah, that's his snake oil.
900,000 times thanks to you supporting it.
If I commit a crime in my local municipality, I'll get in trouble with my local cops. If I commit a crime against my state, that's a bigger deal. If I commit a crime against the United States of America, now I have a huge problem. But imagine if I commit a crime against another country. Now I could be at war because of the crime that I've committed. One of the things that we don't realize is that we are actually enemies of God. Ephesians chapter 2 makes it clear. We are children of wrath, objects of wrath, because our federal head, Adam, sinned against God, thereby declaring a war between...
Okay, here's a big difference. Your local municipality, your state, your country, another country, like there's all precedents for that. We could all
Wait,
experience.
I have one question though.
We can't hold on. All of those things that he mentioned up into like talking about like Adam and like spiritual bullshit, like none of that is actually valid. Okay, we could experience all of that. We could experience all of that stuff because we actually have human experiences of it, not anything related to spiritual nonsense. But go ahead. What you saying?
No, I was gonna ask, like, and I know this is a stupid question, but when did Adam become our federal head of state?
I think we're trying to make an analogy, but it's kind of a false analogy.
Yeah, I just had to say that. I'm just like, really? You can't put Adam as our federal head of state. I know where he was going with that, but it's still kind of like, no,
It's gibberish. Kaiser, what do you think?
This makes me. It's like it's a twisted, manipulative version of religious renormalization. I don't know if that makes sense. Like right, there's in pretty much in fields of science when you renormalize stuff. I'll give an example. Like when you're working out any kind of probability matrices or predictions with anything involving the nucleus of an atom, you don't really need to know. Actually, let me start from the top down. If you need to know what the position of an electron is in an electron orbit or in an orb, you don't really need to know what the positions of the quarks are in the protons of the nucleus. All right, and let's take a step down one more. If you need to know what the positions of the quarks are and you get a probability matrix of that, you don't need to know what the positions are of the electron orbs outside. If you want to know even further down, in other words, you can get steps up and down in nature where you don't need to know one field to know a different field in a different frame of reference. Like if I'm going to take my blood pressure in a room, I don't need to know the temperature of the room to get my blood pressure. You see what I'm saying? There's different. You can renormalize things where you don't have to know certain things to a certain extent. You can get a valid answer.
Yeah. I get. Let's keep on with the video. No.
Sorry about that.
Us as mankind and God as the perfect God. So it's not just that we have a sin problem individually. It is that we have a sin problem collectively. So we are all under God's wrath and deserve it because of our federal head Adam, but also because of the sin that we committed against the infinite righteousness of an infinitely holy God.
If you've got an image of God in your mind, get rid of it. God is nothing like we imagine him to be. God says in one of the Psalms to the psalmist, "You thought that I was altogether just like yourself, didn't you?" But God's nothing like we imagine him to be. He's not that guy leaning out as an old man across the sky to touch a finger of Adam. Nothing like that. He's not a divine butler who comes when we click our fingers. Think of this massive earth. Got it? Big thought, isn't it? It's huge. And yet this earth fits into the volume of the sun 1,000,000 times. Flames on the sun leap out 300,000 miles at a time. It's so glorious, you and I can't look at it for more than a few seconds or we'll go blind. God created the sun. And that's only a tiny part of this incredible creation. And you have to face him on Judgment Day, and you have violated his law, and the Bible says his wrath abides upon you. Every time you sin, you've stored up his wrath.
What is sin exactly?
Okay, sin is supposed to be just things that are not natural, are things that are not right, things that you do wrong, basically. Anything that, like, things that go against the Ten Commandments, you know, basically too. But and I'm not a big. I have religious beliefs, but I'm not a very big religious person. But I'm starting to think that both those guys are kind of a bit of a quack.
Yeah.
Because when they're talking about certain things, it's kind of like they start rambling and in the areas that's like really crazy. Because
And honestly, by that definition, I mean I would say that him holding up a banana would be unnatural because, you know, that was actually selectively bred for humans. You know, like guys, remember that? Remember Banana Man?
Yeah, bananas, last I checked, are pretty much at this point in time a product of artificial selection and not natural selection.
Yeah. But I feel like this is more of a knee-jerk reaction to like. I think an easier thing is that they're scrambling, right? Like with the rise of science and stuff like that. Like people don't really need to worry about like religious beliefs and shit like that. I actually remember doing like just looking at the Pew studies. Because of the rise of science and everything, like more religious people are actually like leaving like the faith, everything like that.
because of people
I
like
mean,
this.
like, hold on, real quick. I mean, that's not necessarily saying like uh that religion is going down. You know, like it's not necessarily going full atheist, but yeah, there are more secular people going up. You know, like you got like that Pope accepting evolution and everything like that, and but yeah, like secularization, it's on the rise, and these guys are scrambling to keep some influence. But yeah, they are losing on social issues. What were you saying?
No, I was saying that like those are the reasons. I mean, it's people like that that go off and bring down religion because Christianity Christianity itself was supposed to be basically a way of just having. It's the idea that there is a higher power that actually was able to create our give us all our breath of life, basically, and we should be thankful for it and try to do the best we can by trying to um, do right by everyone and ourselves and everyone else. You know, pass down. It's kind of like the idea of uh, keep it moving. You know, one good deed after another, and eventually it'll trickle down to everyone kind of like doing something good for everybody, kind of thing. But you get these religious leaders that go off and sit there and they want to punish everyone for anything that's not pointing out a total religious belief. So if you drink too much, or if you smoke, or if you're having sex before you're married, if you're gay, if you're not gay, or whatever else, it's kind of like pushing on an idea, adding extras on an idea that literally was basically just, it went from being love thy enemy and thy neighbor and everyone else and just be happy. Just live your life. Do whatever what you can, what you can't deal with, you know, just
You can't serve two masters. You can't serve two
exactly.
masters. All right, yeah, all right. A little more of this bullshit, then we're moving on.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, is this making sense to you? Perhaps your conscience is kicking in
No,
right now and you're
no, not really. Hail Satan.
with conviction over your sin. Or maybe your conscience is so dull that it doesn't bother you at all that you've sinned against God and have incurred his just wrath. In either case, friend, you need to be sobered by the fact that the day of judgment is coming and that hell is no joke. On that day, you won't be strutting in slow motion as chariots of fire plays in the background and the wind rushes through your hair and the light sparkles in your eyes. No.
I remember. Okay, this is gonna be funny as fuck, right? I'm not gonna dox anyone, but Kaiser, you're hearing this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, last Friday I was going to this party, right? I was hanging with my friends, and like they're all Muslim, right? And I had a couple of them, well, a little bit of all of them actually talk to me about like Islam, right? It's more or less, like Christianity. I mean, of course it is. I mean, it's a distant cousin of it anyway. Excuse me, but more to the point, yeah. So they were talking to me about like Judgment Day and shit like that, and I asked them, what is 1820 like? What was 1820 like? Just in response to that. Like the day, like a time before you were born, and then they just didn't know, like. And the point I brought it up was, you don't feel any pain, like you didn't exist, you were nowhere around. I mean, like, did you feel like it's the same with this, you know? I mean, how is 3050 or 3016 gonna be different? I mean, you'll be long dead. I mean, you're not gonna feel any pain. Like I didn't feel any pain before I was born. I'm not gonna feel any pain afterwards. So
That's something I've actually contemplated a lot over the last year. About, okay, well, what happens after I die? And I'm thinking about, well, how did I feel about before I was born?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, talk as much as you want. I mean, without that physical basis, i.e., the brain, you're not gonna be able to feel anything. So any mental activity that you think you're gonna have, I mean, it's gonna disappear once that's done. But anyway.
Well, there's there's a thought, okay, that I'm not gonna say it's an actual big study or anything, because I don't know how because they probably just kind of like dropped it as soon as they came up with this. But there's a thought that everyone always wanted to find out whether or not there is such a thing called a soul. And there was some experiments made, because the fact that most of your mental or your nervous system is ran by these neurons, that like electrical charges that go back and forth throughout your body.
Sure.
To help you, to feel, think, or whatever else. And most of the time, someone was thinking that if you find the source of where they actually come from, other than just the brain, then you might actually find the soul. And the funny thing is that the charges come from so many different sources in your body that no one can pinpoint the actual source of where the electrical charge starts.
Exactly.
So, but just for shits and giggles, okay? Let's just say if there was an actual pinpoint spot, and when you die, that spark, for instance, winds up going somewhere else, and that holds and winds up finding out that that spark is the thing that holds your entire essence, all your pains and thoughts and hopes and dreams for whatever reason.
You mean consciousness?
Yeah. So who's to say whether or not you would actually feel anything? Because if that holds your consciousness, and that holds all the main nerves of who and what you are, then I mean, I always believed in the thought of the human mind can create anything. Once it's like, if you push it far enough, there's still a certain percentage of our brain that is not used, and maybe it's used during this one point in time. When you die, and how strong you believe in it, your mind can create a certain atmosphere for that spark to go into. And that's what most people would consider heaven and hell. Because if you talk to most people that like so-called died when they're like in the hospital for a certain length of time, they're pretty much pronounced dead, but somehow a couple minutes later they were able to revive them or whatever, or bring them back.
Ray, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I actually saw this documentary in the mid '90s. There are actually many hospitals that have, this is interesting. They have these marquees that have sentences and paragraphs and stuff, and written stuff that are positioned where you can only see them if you're like on a tall ladder trying to fix the light fixture, where you can only see them if you're at the top of on the ceiling of the room. And they have these marquees rolling around on these LCD screens. They've been having these for a very long time in hospitals that where they put people that are in areas in ICU areas that are most likely to have near-death experiences, just to ask them, hey, what did you see written on the marquees on the top of the? There's never been any results from this yet, but there's been money spent to go that far to seeing if out-of-body experiences at near death or post death and being brought back are actually legitimate.
Yeah, if it's true or not. But half the time, I think it's not them actually being brought back. It's the fact that like I was saying, just your brain makes a certain afterlife for you. So when you die, that's why you probably don't feel anything anymore, because all those sensors get pushed over into this little place in your head where that source goes into and sits there and dissipates because you're no longer around. Because think about it, most people go off and sit there and say they see a bright light, and then all of a sudden I see all my relatives from way back in the day, or I see my wife that died, years ago. But then they come back and they're like, well, shit, they told me it's not my time.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, the people who usually have like NDEs or shit like that, usually, I mean, you usually like cite sleep paralysis, certain drugs that feel a sense of euphoria and stuff like that. There's research into it and stuff like that you could look at. But that being said, we're moving on. Okay, we got Trump surrogate confronted about faked biological claims. So there's this guy who's this pastor. Was a Trump surrogate, and he faked his biographical claims. I mean,
We need a champion, we need a winner, and that is Donald.
He's the small-town preacher who's become a major surrogate for Donald Trump's campaign for president.
The last thing I want to do is to draw attention away from Mr. Trump's policy.
Pastor Mark Burns, a frequent cable news guest, a crowd favorite at Trump rallies, even a speaker at the Republican National Convention.
From the great state of South Carolina!
But before the campaign, he was virtually unknown.
I think Donald Trump is a great judge of character. You would think he would just choose the greatest names, but Donald Trump values character more so than popularity or name.
Well, I wonder why this guy's supporting him. It couldn't be the fact that he's gotten some notoriety or some level of that of a celebrity.
I really got I can't see how anyone really supports Donald Trump. But I mean, okay, it's been going on a long time, because when he first threw his hat in to go off and run for president, I thought it was like a big joke and it was going to be over soon, and it's not over yet. It's like now it turned into a big nightmare, because it's just this is just one subject that's going to frustrate me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was actually going to say the same thing. Particularly this guy as a just his enthusiasm. I can't even wrap my head around this. I don't even have any kind of opinion on it, because it just sounds like chaos to me.
It does.
I fall in that category.
Pastor Burns' Harvest Praise and Worship Center in Easley, South Carolina is a small operation, The church, just a few folding chairs, tables, and cameras for his televangelism.
Help us to receive the wisdom of the Lord Jesus Christ.
After attending Trump's November meeting with black pastors in New York, Burns says former campaign manager Corey Lewandowski asked him to speak on Trump's behalf at Bob Jones University. He's been a favorite of the campaign ever since.
He just came out of the blue.
Virginia Beach Navy veteran Damon Davis says he's a Republican, preferred fiery Southern pastor. Neither had his friends.
So they looked him up, and he had web pages up, and they saw one of the claims was that he was a member of Kappa Psi.
Davis, who is a member of the predominantly African-American fraternity, says he first saw the claim in Pastor Burns' bio on his church's website. Davis says he captured this screen grab in July, just days after Burns in the RNC. Then he's...
Salim, you mind muting, man? Welcome to the room, but will you mind muting? Okay. All right. We're just running a show here, so.
Started investigating. And what did you find?
There is no person named Mark Burns, John Mark Burns, or any variation thereof in the fraternity ever.
Davis says he contacted Pastor Burns. Soon after, Davis says the webpage disappeared. CNN called Kappa headquarters too.
Okay, so he made up some people in his supposed fraternity. Like he said, like there were people involved in this club that he knew that he didn't really know. What the fuck?
At first I thought he said Bastard Burns.
It sounded like he actually went off there and like decided to change everything.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like
I thought
apparently Pastor whoever doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I thought pastors weren't supposed to bear false witness.
So when he sat down with Burns, we asked about that.
I did, without question, say that I had crossed, and I'm not crossed, but I had started the process of being a part of that organization. But that's the furthest that I've gotten.
Is that the bio from your website?
It is, but it is not it is the bio, but this is not an accurate depiction of the bio. I mean, information has obviously been added. I mean, I own up to any mistakes that I made, like I did with my tweet, but obviously in this case, this
is not from your page?
No, this is.
You better hope Trump go off and give him some of that Trump money to go off and get a good lawyer.
Or either.
I think he's gonna distance himself from this guy. I mean, I would. I mean, he fucked up clearly.
Oh man.
Or either hacked or added.
CNN asked the site's host, Wix, about the possibility that someone could have tampered with the church's website. The company tells CNN there is no evidence of a hack. And CNN obtained the pastor's full bio from the church's website through an internet archive. You also claimed that you served 6 years in the Army Reserves. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we called the Army, and they said that you had no active Army or
I was never part of service.
Oh.
Okay, I just...
I'll repeat that. Let me repeat that.
That you served 6 years in the Army Reserves. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay, we called the Army, and they said that you had no active Army or
I was
Army
never
Reserve
part of
service.
No, I wasn't part of the South Carolina National Guard.
Okay, I just asked you about the Army Reserves. That was my question. You in this bio claim 6 years in the Army Reserves.
Which is, it is reserved. It is the Army South Carolina National Guard is reserves.
In a statement,
No, it's not.
the U.S. Army says Burns served.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm a reservist, so I know there is a difference.
How the fuck you gonna lie on TV like that? What the fuck?
Oh. How those folks say it, stolen valor? That's
That
an
looks
example
so
right there.
bad.
I've been seeing anything this bad since that episode of Operation Repo, when that dude was faking injury of being an Iraqi vet, and he faked it just to keep his van, and he jumped out the fucking wheelchair. Do you guys actually see that video?
Oh man, no, I didn't get to see that one.
Dude, it was fucked up. Holy shit.
Wow.
Carolina from 2001 to 2005, was discharged in 2008. He has no active Army or Army Reserve service time. Did you attend North Greenville University?
I did attend North Greenville University.
Did you graduate from North Greenville
No, I
University?
didn't complete the degree at North Greenville University.
In fact, the university tells CNN he was here one semester. Again, the bio that's on your website claims it.
One semester. Oh yeah, I went there. That's nice.
Yeah, I went to a lot of colleges.
Yeah, me too.
For one semester.
Earned a Bachelor of Science degree.
Wait. What now?
Earned a Bachelor of Science degree.
Yeah, Bachelor of Science. Holy shit.
Semester. Again, bio that's on your website claims that you earned a Bachelor of Science degree.
And you only went there one semester.
Did you make that claim?
I asked you just a moment ago as we were just opening up this, and first of all, I said that we were off the record.
I didn't agree to that.
Yeah, but I did.
Oh my god, this is so fucking hilarious.
Can you link that to the side chat?
Oh my god.
I love it when people go off and do that shit. It was like, I said I wanted to be off the record, but I didn't agree to it. I did.
They're recording this. They're recording this. Of course, it's not off the record. What the fuck?
Yeah. If you see a video camera and all, it's going to be on the record.
It's on side chat.
Well, dude, I don't give a shit what happens to me at work when I go later. That you just totally fucking made my day, man.
Awesome. No problem. I'm keeping on with this.
I'm off. Did you make that claim that you graduated from North
Because I
Greenville
think
University?
this is not fair that you this is not fair at all. This is not what I agreed to. I thought we were doing a profile, and all of a sudden you're here to try to destroy my character.
I'm not coming here to destroy your character. These are claims that were made.
How is he destroying your character, stupid? You fucking lied in the book. If you were honest in the damn book, it would look better. It would show you're honest.
There's a website. You literally lied on the whole web page that they had up there for the church or whatever. So, yeah.
You exaggerated your fucking credentials, and people found out about it. What the? You make yourself look bad. Jesus. And Lucifer, what the fuck?
Your website that was live while you were speaking at the Republican National Convention. My question is, are those claims accurate?
I understand this is what media does. I understand that when you find someone that is speaking out their heart and speaking out their desire to bring people together and to get...
Oh, you're speaking out somewhere. You're speaking out somewhere. It ain't your heart. It ain't your heart. I can tell you that much. Come from your asshole, child.
A flaming butt.
I want to know how did they actually get him to do this interview?
Oh, preacher.
How did they get him to do this interview? I mean, he didn't realize that that's what they're gonna do. He just said, "I know this is what they." Well, if you knew, then why didn't you just go off and sit there and not do the interview?
He thought he could bullshit him some more, but that's not even the case.
Well, Wolf, I have to tip my hat to you, man. Oh, look, I've actually been looking for real situations where Trump's any of Trump was vouches, anybody who vouches for Trump,
His followers.
and it's very difficult because I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, Hillary supporters, most of them are pretty dumb. They are, and I'm trying to see both sides of the fence here. And this is actually the first case in which I've actually been able to get a good point of view on a case where a Trump voucher got pretty much completely dismantled, and I appreciate that, man, very much.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was really good. I mean, the only other thing I can say right now is that Hillary, I can't really say anything good or bad about her. Trump, that dude, like, some of his ideas I won't say they're entirely bad, but they're not easily thought through. Like, he started with everything trying to be about this wall he wanted to put up for the border, and then he wants Mexico to pay for the wall. I'm like, if you can get that done, hey, but I doubt another country is going to go off and sit there and pay for a wall that you want to put up in your country. That's just,
Right.
that's like me going to my neighbor's house and be like, look, I want you to go off and sit there and make me a bath in my house. You do all the work, and you go get the soap and bring the water from your house over.
Well, basically, the way he's claiming is going to happen is by using the money that that's being funneled from the U.S. to Mexico, and he's starting with Western Union, MoneyGram, and all that stuff. Yeah, that's a. I'm just look.
It's an idea, but at the same time, that money is still kind of like someone else's money. That, like, if I wanted to go off and send money to Mexico to a friend or a relative or whatever else, that's my money I'm sending over there. I don't need like the government tapping into that just to go off and put up a fucking wall.
Right.
Okay. Just a little more of this shit, and we're gonna move on.
As the political correctness of society, that the job of that of investigative journalism, or in this case, is to try to destroy the character of the individual so their voice is silenced. What I'm saying is this: in reference to my website, if there's inaccurate information on there that can easily be manipulated by other people, and it can be manipulated by hackers. People can do and say and do and create whatever they want to create.
Again, the website's host says there is no evidence of a hack.
I don't feel comfortable at all. This is not.
You also claim to be studying at the Anderson Theological Seminary.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
Currently working on his Master of Theology and Pastoral Leadership, according to the church's website.
Wolf, can you pause it for a second? I need to say something really quick. Okay.
Hold on. I just want to hear that last bit.
Sorry.
His website.
We called them. You're not enrolled there, and you enrolled in 2008 and never advanced.
But do you know how old this is? This hasn't been updated. I think there's an updated profile on me that's on the website.
So is it old or is it tampered?
These are old information. This is
Yeah, it's old and it's still wrong. But go ahead, cuz.
Okay, you got Ray, Wolf. Look, I want you guys to know. Look, I have been working with. I'm actually. I say this with no pride. I've been working with DNS server script network programming for a very long time. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that this guy talking about his website being hacked for that long a period of time is absolute fucking bullshit. That is 100% bullshit. I'm not even, I could like literally talk for hours on end about the technical details, but I don't want to do that. I mean, if you want talk about it on a side chat or something, because I want to give the advantage to the layman. But that is absolute bullshit. That's all I gotta say.
Wow.
Extremely old information.
Seconds later.
This is a thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming. You just take this.
Pastor Burns walked out, leaving us in his church.
He walked out of the building, got into his van, and drove off. That interview was on Wednesday. Late yesterday, in response to our story, Pastor Mark Burns released this statement taking responsibility for those misstatements. As a young man, he writes, starting my church in Greenville, South Carolina, I overstated several details of my biography because I was worried I wouldn't be taken seriously as a new pastor. This was wrong, I wasn't truthful then, and I have to take full responsibility for my actions. Since that time, I should have taken steps to correct any misrepresentations of my background. We all make mistakes, and I hope that the measure of my character and the quality of my works speak for what kind of person I am.
Yeah, you're a charlatan and a bullshitter, so not
At least
necessarily
he
support.
finally was honest about something.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But, oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you go off and sit there and just like you go from it's been hacked and it's just wrong information. Well, you're not listening to me, and then it's just old information.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
All right. Let's see what we got next. Okay, we got let's see. Some magic. That's nice. Oh wait, hang on. No, that's not what I meant.
Hey, Jimmy. Hi, buddy. How are you? Great to see you. Jimmy, I have... We'll get back to that. For pooping in a laptop and closing it. Okay. Right? There's a bunch of different cards. Jimmy, I'm going to go through these cards. I want you to choose one card. Choose one card. Anyone that you like, pick one out. Okay. And then not show you. Don't show me. I don't want to see it. Don't show anybody. Okay. Just choose one. Gotcha. You like that one? Yes. Very good. I want you to read that card to yourself. Read what is written on that card to yourself. Okay. Okay. Very good. And I want you to think of the first short word that pops into your head after reading that card. The first short word. You got one? Is one of these words? No. Just after reading that, like a word association. Don't say it. Just think it. I know, but I'm trying to sum it all up. Take your time. Okay. Good. I got it. You got one? Yes. Perfect. I want you to write that short word on that card. I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to look. And once you've done that, I want you to write your initials or your signature on the bottom, on the corner of that card, just to make that card unique, special, different. And once you've done that, I want you to take the pen and put it on the table and let me know when you've done that. Do I hold the card? What do I do with the card? Just hold it to your chest. Let me know when you've done that. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Okay, I'm going to turn around, but before I do that, I want you to hold that card to your chest so I can't see the card, so I can't see that card. I am. We good? Yeah, great. Okay, I'm going to turn around, Jimmy. If you wouldn't mind, can you place that card right there in the pack? Very good, Jimmy. It goes into the middle of the pack. And before we do anything else, I'm going to cut these cards, and I want you to hold out your right hand. Hold out your right hand for me. Perfect. I'm going to take this box. I'm going to place the cards into the box, and I want you to put your other hand on top of the box. Put your other hand on top of the box. Perfect. Okay. Jimmy, this is going to sound kind of weird, but I dream about you. It's true, but I think a lot of people dream about you because you're on the Tonight Show, right? You're in the homes of millions of people, and every night people, they see you right before they go to sleep. That's correct. You're the last voice that they hear. Nighttime, that's sure. Yeah.
Doesn't make me creepier.
I love magic shows. This shit is funny, and the Jimmy Fallon show, Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wait! I want to see what happens. What the hell?
Yeah, go back.
Jimmy, before I came on this show, before I found out I was coming back on this show, I had a dream. I had a dream about us. I had a dream about us being here. I had a dream about us playing Cards Against Humanity. Oh, good. Yeah. Jimmy, you could have chosen any card. Yeah, that was a fair choice. Yes? Perfectly fair. Yes. Jimmy, for the first time, what was written on the card that you chose? Not what you wrote, but what was written on the card that you chose? A zesty breakfast burrito. Zesty breakfast burrito. Yes. And then you wrote a word down, right? You wrote a word down on that card. We haven't set anything up. We haven't talked about this before the show. I didn't know what trick I was doing. I knew to look at that camera. That's all I knew. That's all you know. You knew nothing else. Swear to them that we have not set anything up. I would never do that. Perfect. I actually hope it goes wrong. Because that would be hilarious.
Wait, stop the video. Stop the video. Stop the video. I gotta do this. I've never seen this video, but I gotta do it. I predict there's something McDonald's related. I just had to say it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What word that you wrote on that card? Spicy. Spicy. Spicy, yes. Jimmy, in my dream, a word popped out to me. And it's been in my head ever since. And because of that, I wrote something down. But I wrote it in chalk. Jimmy, there's been this chalkboard here, standing here the whole time. No one's gone near it. I haven't touched it. Correct. You could have thought of any word. Yes. Spicy. Yes. On this chalkboard, I wrote something down. That is in chalk. You could have thought of any word. How could you do that? We're not done yet, though, Jimmy. Jimmy, can you hold those cards between your hands? Yeah. Perfect. Jimmy, tilt your hands sideways like that. Jimmy, you might feel this. You might feel this. Did you feel that? Did you feel it?
I actually really just felt something.
It's weird. What if I told you that your card, just now, vanished from that deck?
Yeah. What? I just felt like an
Jimmy,
electric shock.
open your hand.
It's like an invisible wall, an
Open your
electronic
hand.
wall.
Take the cards out of the box. Take the cards out of the box. Yeah. Jimmy, there's nothing else in that box, correct? No, not perfect. Jimmy, as I go through, I want you to look for your card. Look for the one you wrote on. Zesty Burrito. Go through here. There's one card has vanished from this pack. All of the other cards are there. One card has completely disappeared from this pack. One card completely. This is odd. Yeah. Gone.
It's going to be like in my mouth or something. Yeah, I know. This is like
That would be cool.
No,
but
what
you
is
know
it?
where it would be cooler for it to end up? Oh, okay. Where's that envelope? Sir, can you hold it up?
No.
Yes. Sir, can you pass that down? Pass that down to the person in front of you. Pass it down to the person in front of you. Pass it down to the person in front of you. And pass it down one more time. Jimmy, can you go get the card? I don't want to touch it. I do want you to touch it. Hi. Jimmy, can you bring that card back over here? Bring that envelope. Bring that envelope down. Inside that envelope, there's one thing. Open up that envelope.
Come on, man.
Jimmy, open it up.
I'm gonna freak out right now. Oh my god. No way.
Jimmy, inside that envelope is a card, but it's not just any card.
You did this, man. I don't know how the heck you did this. Oh my
Jimmy.
How in the heck? What is going on? You are the greatest, man. God, what? For tickets to the magician, visit nomadupstairs.com.
I like stuff like that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I like magic. That shit's always awesome.
You guys ever heard of the Tasmania show? It was like a '90s ethnic cartoon called Tasmania.
I think so. In the cartoon?
Yeah, and they had Taz goes, Taz light magic. That's the level of stupefaction that I've been reduced to watching this.
Oh, come on. That's almost an insult, man. That's not right.
It's a self-insult, but I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Oh, that was good. That's good.
Yeah.
I still gotta see that one movie. Fucking Now You See Me. The second one, because the first one, oh man, that tripped me out. I love watching that. Now I want to see part 2.
Oh boy. Yep. This has been crazy. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, well, if you really your the curriculums that you pull up for your hangouts are pretty fucking awesome, bro. I like how you roll it from one to another. Keep it rolling. That's fucking awesome, man.
Yep. Okay, we got one more story, and then I think we'll call it a wrap. I'll think of this as a little bonus. Okay, let's see. What are we thinking of? Okay, Twitter troll has no regrets about attacking Leslie Jones.
We confront the dark underbelly monopoly of social media. Beyond the cat videos and all those birthday shout-outs, an alarming number of users are exploiting their platforms to spread hate. One self-proclaimed internet troll, Milo Yiannopoulos, tells us he's unapologetic and proud, even after being banned from Twitter for his infamous online taunting of Ghostbusters star Leslie Jones. He talked to ABC's Terry Moran in London.
It began as a standard Hollywood production.
Now there's sightings all over the city.
A remake of the beloved 1984 movie Ghostbusters. Get out of my friend, Ghost! This time with an all-female cast.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh,
Do you want to?
sorry. I'll let you.
Next time.
One of the stars, Leslie Jones. But within a few days of the movie's release, Leslie Jones was subjected to incredibly vicious attacks on Twitter. Many of the attacks, known as trolling, came from anonymous users, but not all of them.
Are you a troll? Of course. What is trolling? How do you look at it? I like to think of myself as a virtuous troll. You know, I'm doing God's work.
Milo Yiannopoulos, also known as Nero Online, joined in the tormenting of Jones, calling her a man on Twitter to his 350,000 plus followers. In the Twitter storm
sure,
that
I was
happened, you
mean
called
to-
her a dude. If Leslie Jones were right here, would you say, you look like a dude?
Yeah, probably.
You would say that,
Yeah,
sir?
probably. I probably would.
Then you're an idiot. You don't really. Milo, as everyone calls him, is...
I mean, what do you think of this guy?
I think he's an idiot.
Why'd you get? Why did you have to bring that up, Wolf? Why?
He's a bit of a dick. I mean, I'll show you another guy in a minute that I'm sure you'll love too. But this, yeah, he's a dick.
Wait. Let me say something real quick. Now, remember when we were talking about how there's certain people that are really ignorant and they go off and because they haven't really experienced having life, like living, and they just get they're privileged on getting things given to them. This is a great example right here of an asshole that probably was pampered, who often sit there and runs on daddy and mommy's money and goes around just doing whatever the fuck he wants by irritating people for no apparent reason and thinks he's the shit.
Labor, unfortunately, Milo made the majority of his money doing real estate, and he did it on his own.
Still, I'm just saying.
All right, more of the shit.
One of the most famous or infamous trolls on the internet. He's an editor at Breitbart, the ultra-conservative news website. He accused Jones of playing the victim and later called her barely literate.
I don't say anything I don't believe, but of course I do say things in a way that is going to elicit a response from people.
Jones detailed the abusive words and images she was receiving and the racist and misogynistic slurs against her that even compared her to an ape.
Oh my God! This idea,
or me
no,
as
no,
a
no, no.
human being
Of
with feelings
of course
and
she is. But this idea that celebrities are these fragile wallflowers, give me a break. You and I both know people in Hollywood.
Because she acted in a
Stars of
movie,
Hollywood
you rallied
blockbusters
people.
are sitting at home crying into their iPhones.
Why didn't you stand up, as people called her, ape, gorilla, and worse, and say, guys, this is good to
Why should
do,
I have
but
to
not
police
racist.
other people?
Not
Why should I have to police
Why
other
not
people's
stand
speech?
up for right?
I'm responsible.
Why not stand up for the right?
I'm responsible for what I say. I'm perfectly happy to tell you I think that stuff is disgusting.
So you had
I'm
no
perfectly happy to
obligation
tell
for your 350,000 followers.
Does Justin Bieber have an obligation to
Can you stop it right there for a moment?
I'm sorry for being popular. I am not responsible for what 350,000 people on the internet say. I am responsible for what I say. Do you go after Selena Gomez when her fans send death threats to Justin Bieber? No. Do you go after Beyonce when her fans go after Taylor Swift? No.
The 48-year-old actress is a regular on Saturday Night Live.
Nobody writes love letters anymore. They don't write love letters? Well, maybe you do, you sexy creamsicle. Just want to chop all the orange off and get to the cream.
Ghostbusters is her first starring role in a major film.
The power of pain compels you!
Leslie Jones is just one target of the self-proclaimed troll. Milo makes a career sparking outrage, spraying vitriol at many, helping to legitimize a movement of negativity growing on the internet. One of his hot topics?
When they wanted to have me removed from Pershing Square, a public space in the center of Los Angeles.
Is the female physique. You're going to go after somebody's body?
Yeah.
To denigrate their ideas? What grade are you in?
Well, what you guys so far?
Okay. First off, I mean, if you can't tell that there is obviously a severe editing and bias going on in this interview, then I can't help you. But I can say this for sure. Going back to when I was trying to stop the video for a moment to emphasize certain details. This starts out by a guilt by association, and it just progresses further from there. Um, all the all of these these tweets from that ABC or whoever it was making these quotes were not by Milo at all. They were by these people that decided on their own recognizance to make these claims. And it's when someone makes a statement, when someone makes a difference of opinion, and you got all of these independent followers, these standalone followers, it's not the responsibility of the original to police them. Or even much less to take responsibility. And it was as if every person that decided to make I guess you could call it a hate tweet was directly focused on Milo as if they were his own words, and that is completely false.
Okay, I actually agree with you on that. I actually agree with you. The only thing is that I seen where the reporter was trying to get the point that the reporter was trying to get across to Milo, which if you're gonna interview somebody, you should just like interview them, not try to do some kind of righteous like flashback onto them. Which that's what he was trying to do, because what it was he was trying to like grab the person that was, and that's what Milo is. He's the person that is pretty much considered the coolest person in the list of people that were saying all these malicious things about this lady. Which, I mean, granted, I didn't really like the movie very much myself. I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters, but the movie, it was so-so. Only because it wasn't really like the originals to me. But even with that being said, it's just that Milo it's kind of like, you know how some teachers, they'll go off and see like a group of like kids, we'll call them the cool kids, getting along to try to pick on one kid, and the teachers that finally sees this, they only go and go up to the main kid, or like they try to find like the pick on the coolest kid out of the bunch and be like, you could have often kind of stopped all this by trying to, just saying, hey, that's enough. But you just sat back after you pushed the kid, and then apparently it just ricocheted that everyone started pushing the kid and calling him names and this and that, and just got worse and worse. And you just sat there and laughed along with everybody else, even though you weren't along with the pushing and calling names, but you initially did the first push, and then from then the kid got picked on for the rest of the school year.
Like that kid is being observed as the head of the snake.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, I mean, I'll say this real quick. I mean, yeah, he's a dick, but I don't know, banning a dick for something his fan club does, man, that's kind of ridiculous. But
it is.
That being said, I'm gonna take this off air. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in this. Thank you. This has been Beyonce Take number 9. Thank you, and if you want to follow me, you can, like on YouTube and Google+. Other than that, see you later. Hail Satan, and goodbye.